In the Field updates on Market Journal are supported by the Nebraska Corn Board.
Indonesia is Southeast Asia's largest economy, the world's fourth most populous country, and it offers substantial economic development opportunities for the state of Nebraska. Indonesia is also one of the top 10 export markets for Nebraska at nearly $140 million. A Nebraska trade delegation led by Nebraska Lieutenant Governor Joe Kelly recently returned home from a trade mission to Indonesia. We were able to sit down with Nebraska Secretary of Ag Sherry Vinton to discuss how that trip turned out. Here's our conversation from Monday morning. What was this trip really all about? Tell us more about that.
Well, gosh, Alex, thanks for the opportunity. This trip was about creating a new market for Nebraska. We already have some exports to Indonesia, but it's a country of 280 million people. Their average age is well under 40, and they have growing income levels. So it's important, as an agricultural powerhouse that Nebraska is, that we find new and expanded markets for our products.
Okay, let's learn about Indonesia's landscape, about how they use Nebraska agriculture. What does that look like right now?
Well, some of their top products are feed grains. Of course, they use soybeans, soybean meal, and distillers grains. They have a large poultry industry, aquaculture, and they need our products to feed their livestock. But one of the other things that could be a growing and expanding market would be ethanol. We visited the largest fuel retailer in Indonesia, Petromina, and we talked about how ethanol could help solve one of their huge problems. They have terrible air quality, some of the worst in the world, and clean burning ethanol is a great product for that at a good price point if we can get rid of the trade barriers.
Mm-hmm. What are some other shortfalls for Nebraska agriculture in the Indonesian market?
Well, we have a large tariff on beef as well. And so that would be something that we could look at. And it's a long ways. It's halfway around the world. So we need to make sure that we're competitive and we're providing the highest value-added products that they would need. So that's going to mean meat, and that's going to mean soybean meal, distillers grain, more of a finished product there.
Mm-hmm. Well, it was a lot of business, but you guys also had a little bit of fun on this trip. What were some trips and tours that stand out in your mind?
Oh gosh, there were several highlights. One of the highlights was opening of the ranch market. This was a food pavilion featuring USA products and specifically Nebraska beef in one of their huge malls that they have there. And we did a ribbon cutting and opened that event there. Another one of the great things that we did was Indonesia. They're the largest importer of beef in Indonesia. And we had a great event celebrating our partnership with them there as well. So we had some young farmers and ranchers with us, and they demonstrated their roping skills and their dancing skills, and we highlighted our Western culture and our family culture because family is very important to Indonesians. Mm-hmm. And so they understood that we aren't corporate, we're families from the farm to the table.
Mm-hmm. You were also sharing about an influencer presence. Tell us more about that.
That's correct. We teed up this trip last summer. We had Dr. Calkins and a couple of ranchers go over to Indonesia, and they were highlighted on MasterChef Indonesia. And they actually had 20 million views for that. It's a huge, huge market. Once again, highlighting families and Western culture. And so this time they brought in a social influencer. His name's Boy William. And so we continued to build on that relationship. And we're looking forward to actually bringing him in a film crew to Nebraska next year.
Well, as we round out our conversation, Indonesia was the focus of this year's trade mission. But talk about the broader picture of trade for Nebraska in general. What does that look like?
The broader picture is very important because, as you know, we have less than 2 million people in Nebraska, but our farmers and ranchers are incredibly productive. We are an ag powerhouse, and we need a variety of markets. We don't want to be overly reliant on one trading partner. We've seen what can happen then. So we want to expand our markets into new and growing markets that will be there now and in the future.